everybody and welcome to Astro Tap, the place where we use astrology to tap into your destiny. So today we're going to talk about the rising sign, and the rising sign can also be called the ascendant. So bear this in mind when you're checking out your own birth chart, and also if you hear me switching from rising sign to ascendant in this video, because I have a tendency to do that, it means the same thing. So the rising sign is a sign that was rising on the western horizon at the moment you were born, and I specify it's the moment you were born. So to know your rising sign, you need your time of birth and your place of birth, and it's so important to get these accurate because the rising sign changes approximately every 2 hours. So when you were born and you took in that first breath, you were breathing in the qualities of that rising sign. It's your first impressions of the world. And whatever sign your rising sign falls in was the energy you felt when you first became a human being. So the rising sign is how you see the world. So it's the filter that you see the world through. It's the best way you know how to navigate your life. And as we know, life is a mirror. So the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So your rising sign is also the way that you appear to other people. Now, the rising sign is so important in your birth chart because the rising sign really is the door into your reality, and it's also the doors into each house in your natal birth chart. So for instance, first house, rising sign, first door, you. The way you navigate the world and the way that you appear to others. Second house, your value systems. What in life do you need to feel secure and to feel stable? Third house, your mindset, your communication, and so on and so on. But to build this house system and understand your birth chart at a personal level, this rising sign builds up the rest of your birth chart. And because the rising sign has a lot to do with your first impressions, it has a lot to do with your first steps in life. So it can also indicate the energy around your childhood. And the rising sign can also indicate your physical appearance. So a lot of people will hold physical traits from their rising sign, and this makes it so much easier for people to guess your rising sign before they actually guess like your sun sign or your moon sign or your Venus sign, because the rising sign really guards those more intimate placements. The rising sign can also indicate the energy around your birth, so your journey down the birth canal, and the rising sign can also indicate the way that you rise every morning, so the way that you wake up. Because when you open your eyes in the morning, a new day is born. So a lot can be said about somebody's morning routine when you look at their rising sign. Now, another thing to take into consideration is the planet that rules your rising sign. So for instance, if you're an Aries rising, Mars is the planet that rules your rising sign. And whatever planet rules your rising sign is actually your whole chart ruler. So every house will have a little aspect of this Mars energy. Now, we're not really going to go into this in this video, but I will tell you each planet that rules each sign, and I will do a future video on this. Another thing to take into consideration is if you have your birth chart handy, check whether you have any planets conjunct your ascendant. Now, a conjunct means any planets 10 degrees away from your ascendant. I'll pop a chart example up here or here. And as you can see in this chart, it is my chart because I am a prime example for this, because as you can see, I have Uranus conjunct the ascendant, Neptune conjunct the ascendant, the moon conjunct the ascendant, and the north node conjunct the ascendant. Now, any planets that are conjunct the ascendant in the 12th house, you will have some past life connection to those planets and those energies. So for instance, my persona will be very Capricorn-esque, so Saturn-like, Neptune-like, and Uranian-like. So it's a bit of a mixed bag there. And any planets underneath, you will have those traits, but they will be less seen and more personal to you. Again, I will do a future video on this just to explain this a bit better, but it is something to check out. And if you do find that you have any planets conjunct your ascendant, check the sign that goes with each planet, and you can also watch the video for that sign as well. So in this video, I will go through your general traits, your physical appearance regarding your rising sign, your journey down the birth canal. I will try and predict that. Maybe you want to chat to your mum or something to find out the deets, and how you rise and shine each morning. But first, I will be showing you a few celebrities which share your rising sign, just so that you have some examples. And I've chosen reality TV stars because the rising sign is that first sign that people are going to see when they meet you. And as mentioned, you are hiding your more intimate chart placements behind that rising sign. So when you're a reality TV star, you are probably going to show the traits of your rising sign before you get to the nitty gritty, like the moon sign. So you may see someone's moon sign if they get triggered, but day to day when they've got a camera in their face, you're gonna see their rising sign. Hello Aquarius rising and ascendant. Let's have a look at the reality TV stars which share your rising sign. So we have Khloe Kardashian from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Rob Kardashian from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Robert Wadlow, who is the tallest person on earth at 8'11". Now, I don't know whether the tallest person in the world can be called a reality TV star, but his tallness is reality, so we're using him, and it's very relevant when it comes to the appearance of the Aquarius rising, but we will get to that later. So you are an air sign rising sign, so you're all about the intellect, you're all about being sociable, that communication, and Aquarius's ruling planet is Uranus. So Uranus rules your ascendant, and your whole birth chart has that Uranian aspect to it. Now, I was thinking this earlier. When I say the planet Uranus, does YouTube think I'm saying Uranus? Like, am I being censored whenever I do an Aquarius video or a video about Uranus? It's food for thought, isn't it? Now, Uranus is the planet of shocks and surprises. It likes unconventionality, and it thinks outside of the box. It's innovative. So you really do have this kind of energy when it comes to every aspect of your birth chart. You're unconventional, you like things that are a bit different, a bit quirky, and you like to stand out from the crowd. You're also a fixed rising sign. So you are the kind of person who tends to make a decision and stick to it. Now, this could be a person who stays in a job for a long period of time, a person who has long-standing relationships, long-standing friendships. You may not be too keen on change, although you are the most changeable out of all the fixed sign because of Uranus being so erratic and a bit unpredictable, but you are also a fixed sign. It's a tricky one, isn't it, with Aquarius? A fixed air sign ruled by a changeable planet. Makes you think, doesn't it? This is very Uranian of me. It makes you think. Saturn is actually the traditional ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn is a lot more fixed. Saturn wants you to fixate on something and work towards it. So I think you really are a mixture of Uranus and Saturn. So we're going to use Uranus and Saturn here. Anyway, Aquarius is one of the most rarest rising signs because other rising signs have about a 2 to 2.5 hour window while they're rising on that western horizon, but Aquarius only spends 1 hour around that western horizon. So statistically, it is one of the rarest rising signs. You guys have an eccentric outlook on life, and this is due to Uranus's influence on your birth chart. You are comfortable with unconventionality, and you really do urge other people to be more unconventional. You may choose a career that's considered unconventional. You may choose relationships where people say, I wouldn't put you two together, but you like it because it's unconventional and it makes you stand out from the crowd. You like to surround yourself with people and environments where you're gonna learn something new, where you can be shocked and surprised. where there's always excitement and eccentricity. Now you do struggle with the mundane, like when it comes to a regular 9 till 5 and a boring friends group, you're gonna feel a bit uncomfortable in that, you're gonna feel super bored. So you will decide to choose life paths which allow you more freedom. You're gonna be very innovative, and you could even choose careers where you are inventing, discovering, like being an astronomer, a scientist. Even journalism would work really well for you. So when it comes to the air signs, you have Gemini, which is all about duality within one mind. Then you have Libra, which it's about the duality between two people. And then you, Aquarius, you go beyond duality and you're all about that hive mind type of thought process. So everything you do, you consider humanity, you consider the group. So you're naturally very sociable people. It's very bizarre when it comes to the sign of Aquarius. And when you get to the back end of the zodiac, it's very hard to explain these signs because they are so evolved. And Aquarius is the most evolved air sign. So you have this kind of alien demeanor, which can be quite cold and a bit not of this earth. Yet you like to be in social situations. Now, you're someone who stands out from the crowd. You don't necessarily fit in. You may have different beliefs to most people. You may look different to most people, as in you may dye your hair, for instance, a wacky colour, and you may be the only person in a very conservative workplace who gets away with having pink hair, for instance. And normally when people are different and unconventional, they do struggle to fit in. But you have mastered this ability to be different, unique, stand out from the crowd, and still be relatable to the people around you. I have no idea how you do it. And if you are an Aquarius rising, comment down below and give us the secrets, because this is some valuable info that everyone needs to know. But because you have this consideration for the group and every decision you make, Aquarius rising, because remember, this is your rising sign and this really does flavor the rest of your birth chart, so every aspect of your life, you will do everything with everyone else's consideration in mind. Now, this makes you guys very natural humanitarians. You are great at leading groups and being involved in any humanitarian causes. You may give to charity, you may volunteer. Also, big on technology. You may be somebody who is really into new technology. You may experiment with a lot of technology. You may be putting new technology on eBay every week because you're buying the new tech and you're like, yeah, that one works for me, that one doesn't, pop it on eBay. But yeah, Aquarius risings are always very beyond this earth, very alien-esque, very futuristic, and you're always thinking about the future. You're never really in the present. You're always in the future. You time travel. Wow, Aquarius risings. Now, I think this is why you're one of the most rarest rising signs, because you are so different, you are so unique. And if you're an Aquarius rising, you probably have a very specific job in this lifetime. A job to influence, a job to raise the world's vibration. You're very special. Now, the appearance of an Aquarius rising. Now we're gonna go straight into Robert Wadlow, who is the tallest person on Earth at 8'11". Aquarius risings are known to be quite lanky and have very long features. Again, it's that alien kind of look. It's like an unconventional beauty, a bit like the supermodel, where they're just so strikingly unique. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a hell of a lot of supermodels out there that have an Aquarius rising, because you stand out because you have such a unique beauty. And there's an elegance to you as well because of the length of your limbs, long fingers, long arms. You are a look that cannot be recreated. And that's what makes supermodels stand out from the crowd, because they're iconic, because no one looks like them. Like Aaliyah and Selena, these are two Aquarius rising singers who became icons in their field. But no matter what, these artists can never be recreated because they're just so unique and individual to them. Also, Aquarius risings love to push the limits with trends. You're the kind of people to take a trend and transform it into something different and innovative and futuristic. I think Nicki Minaj is an Aquarius rising, and she literally dresses like a sexy space woman. That's the best way I can describe it. Her look is so unique. You push the limits, but you always make it work. You dress to stand out, and people will see what you do and they'll want to copy you and they'll try and recreate it and fail because they are not an Aquarius rising. Now, the birth when it comes to the Aquarius rising, you could have had a very unique birth. So your mom may have given birth to you in a cab, in a lift, could have even have been a bit of a shock. So an unexpected home birth, like their waters broke and you were coming now. You could have been a premature baby, so 3 weeks early, yet you came out fully developed. I don't know whether that's scientifically possible. Everyone's like, oh, he or she is early and she's fine. She doesn't need any help or assistance. She's fully developed. You basically breached the constructs of reality. Like an alien baby incubates for 8 months. A human baby incubates for 9 months. You are the 8-month alien baby. There'll be so many Aquarius risings watching this and just be like, I am not an alien. Stop calling me an alien. It's a compliment. You're just superhuman, supernatural. You're an enigma. You could have also been an unexpected pregnancy. So your parents may have not been able to put their finger on the conception date, like a bit of a fated baby. So how does Aquarius rise and shine in the morning? You do have downloads. So when it comes to like Aquarius and their glyph, so you are the water bearer, and a lot of your glyphs are little squiggly water lines and they look like waves, and everyone thinks that Aquarius is a water sign, especially with Aqua. On the start, I had my boyfriend the other day say, is Aquarius a water sign? And I was just like, oh. But Aquarius is an air sign, but what people don't realize is the water bearer actually signifies the energy that you can retrieve from water. And also we all know that water holds energy. So you can do this thing called the 2-cup method. Okay, so the 2-cup method is a manifestation method. So you have 2 cups. So you've got 1 cup with water in it and you've got 1 empty cup. So the cup with the water in it will be the energy that you want to go away from. So if the situation is I want to pay my bills, you will label the cup with the water in it broke. The cup without the water in it, you'll label it I want to pay my bills. So you meditate on the feeling of each of these situations. So you meditate on moving away from those broke feelings, and then you meditate on how good it will feel on the empty cup when you pay those bills. While you're meditating over this, you will then pour the energy from the broke cup, so the water that's sitting in the broke cup, into the empty I will pay my bills cup, and then you quickly drink that I will pay my bills cup down. Look, if you're interested in manifestation and the 2-cup method, I really recommend Googling it because I think I butchered that. I've never done it myself and I do not intend to do it. No offense to the 2-cup method. Anyways, what I do get is I get downloads, and I get downloads from a higher being, a higher something. And this normally happens between sleep state and waking state. Now, Aquarius risings will probably experience this. And whatever downloads you retrieve at this moment, you are really asked to write this stuff down. So I think this is the alpha brain state, the calm brain state, the state that you're in when you go from being asleep to awake. You will download like crazy in your alpha brainwave state. Keep a journal by your bedside and write these downloads down. You do need your alone time in the morning because you are a very distant, sociable sign. Again, it's that bizarreness. You like your alone time, but you like to be social, but you also like to have control over this. So you know how much alone time you need to be your best self socially. So in the morning, you tend to want to kind of get your SHIT together before you go out socially, because you have a lot of self-awareness and you know that you always want to be your best self when it comes to meeting other people and being around other people. But you are always eager to socialize when you wake up, so you may brew a nice coffee and take some time to message some friends, check your social media and network whilst you're drinking that coffee before you actually get in the shower and start your daily routine. When it comes to your sleep, you're the kind of people, because of this Uranian energy and the Uranus being very erratic, you could sleep 2 hours one night and then 12 hours the next. Your sleeping state is all over the place. I know a couple of people with strong Aquarius energy who have this kind of routine, well, lack of routine. You just sleep however long you need to sleep, and it is that ability to live off very little sleep and have the ability to catch up. So if you don't sleep much, it's not necessarily insomnia, it's just you've got a lot going on and you know that you can catch up on that sleep when it comes to your alone time. So that is your rising sign, and I hope you found this video to be interesting and informative. If you resonate, please comment down below and drop me a like if you like this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, because I would love to see more of you, and I shall see you next time. Bye.